Hello everybody, I'm Jordan from Evolving Song Holistic Wellness, and I'm also the director of A State of Health, the holistic wellness studio and yoga studio in Kingsville, Ontario. I want to thank you all for joining me today as we dive into the second chakra, our sacral chakra. For those of you who are just tuning in for the first time today, you'll see in my previous videos that we are now exploring the chakras through yoga and meditation and mindful awareness. So last week we touched on the root chakra, and this week we're moving on up to number 2, the sacral chakra. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of information about this chakra and how it affects our lives. So we can begin with its Sanskrit name, Svadhisthana, and this can be translated as standing in one's own place. There's even an element of sweetness to this in some direct translations. So standing in my own place. It's very much connected to remembering who we really are and honoring how we feel in the present moment. So the focus of this chakra is all around emotional balance, creativity, fluidity, going with the flow or being in the flow. And this concept comes from the idea of being connected to our life's path and purpose. So it's really about an intimate relationship with ourselves, and honoring what we're going through from moment to moment. So as you can imagine, this is a pretty impactful chakra on us emotionally, psychologically, and spiritually. So the physical location of this chakra is between the belly button, the navel, and your seat bone. So some relative area around the bladder, the uterus, and of course, being that it is in that area, it affects our sexual organs, the bladder, and also the kidneys. When we think about the chakra, the second chakra, the element of water comes to mind. It really is associated with all of the fluids in our body, from blood to lymph, saliva, semen, all of our fluids. It's in its planetary association would be the moon. So maybe that makes sense for a lot of us out there who feel very affected by the lunar cycles, particularly emotionally. I know there have been lots of pop culture and mainstream media jokes about the full moon bringing out the craziness in people. Well, it kind of makes sense if you think about it from a yogic standpoint, because the moon and her gravitational pull on the earth and also on our bodies, which are roughly 70% water, it takes or it has a great influence on our emotional bodies, on our emotional states. And when we feel like we are in balance, when we feel like this chakra is healthy, it's the energy is nice and balanced between that chakra and the other ones. It's open, it's flowing. We feel connected to our bodies. We feel connected to our emotions. We feel like we can safely express ourselves and consciously communicate our emotions as well. We tend to feel like we are in the flow, as I mentioned before, like we are connected to our life path and connected and maybe engaging actively in our creative ability, our creative potential. So as you know, we think about this chakra being located near the sex organs, so too do we think about its influence on procreation, like the very basic fundamental act of creating something within ourselves. Or for men, being a part of the creative act. So this can, you can extrapolate and bring this into many different areas of your life. I just want to touch on what it feels like or what it looks like when our sacral chakra is not in balance. So when there is an excess of energy concentrated and pooling here at the second chakra, we can feel overly emotional or overly sexual. We can feel a little bit scattered, very watery. Like if you think about just the nature of water, it isn't contained. There's no structure. It's all over the place. So when we have too much of that element or too much of that energy in the second chakra, we can feel a little bit all over the place, a little wishy-washy, and having difficulty bringing focus to our energy and our strengths. On the opposite end of things, if there's a deficiency of energy in the second chakra, we might feel very stiff in the body. We might have very rigid attitudes. Maybe we're unyielding in our mind. We might also feel very disconnected from our emotions. Perhaps we try to numb ourselves when we do experience challenging emotions. And you might even feel like you don't have a very easy time experiencing or accepting or allowing those more pleasant emotions as well. We might be cutting ourselves off from all spectrums of our emotion. This could also look like emotional outbursts because we are not regulating our emotional mind and our emotional selves. We're not giving awareness and space to those emotions, and we sort of try to hide them or bury them, and then all of a sudden we can't contain it anymore, and it looks like an outburst. So this is maybe something that you have experienced in the past. Maybe this is something you're going through right now, or maybe just because of your family, your friends, your community, you may begin to get an idea of what this looks like in a person's behaviors and habits. So there are some ways that we can bring balance to this chakra, that we can heal this chakra and begin to explore it safely and with compassion and love. So a couple of these ways are, of course, through our physical asana practice, through yoga. Tantric yoga and Kundalini yoga are particularly very useful, but so is a nice creative Hatha flow class. So really you can explore this chakra in any of our yoga practices that focus more so on the hips, the lower back, the sacral area, maybe the pelvis. So we'll actually be playing with that a lot today. Other ways that you can bring balance to this chakra are through free, unstructured movement. So dance. Dance is like one of the best ways that we can loosen up the energy here, really get it flowing, release some of the restrictions on the meridians that may be impeding the flow of energy to or from that chakra. So dance is a really great one. Journaling is another really good way to do this. And the reason behind that, we're getting a little bit further away from movement, but the reason that journaling can be really helpful is because it's a way for us to safely acknowledge and get back in touch with our emotions. If it's just your journal, no one else is going to read that. You can say whatever you want to say, and it's completely confidential. And it just allows you to explore emotions at your own pace. So those are 3 activities that I would highly recommend to promote balance. And another thing that I definitely can't jump away from the second chakra without mentioning is creative arts. Okay, so when we feel like we have a lack of creativity in our lives, or perhaps we're lacking that inspiration, or or maybe we are very creative, but we need to focus and channel that, we can move to arts. So whatever that is for you, however you feel connected with art, through movement, through song, through visual arts, whatever it would be for you, actually go sit down or get up and create something. Just see how it feels, see what comes up. And while you're doing this, just be mindful and gentle by allowing yourself to feel what it is that is inspiring your art. So these are some really cool ways for you to dive into the second chakra, give some healing energy and love and attention to this area. Today we are going to be doing that ourselves through a really nice Hatha flow class that is going to be focusing on the hips. So I can already hear those, people who are, habitually tight in the hips. I promise you are going to love this. This is going to feel really good. And maybe we'll get a little bit more range of motion, some flexibility, will help to decrease a little bit of that pain that we might feel in the lower back, in the glutes, and the hips, and the groin, and the hamstrings. Our practice today is really targeting these areas. So there are a couple of things that I would suggest that you have nearby to help you, just support you in this practice. Number one is a yoga mat. Yoga mats are really, really useful tools that allow us to bring our practice wherever we want to go, and they protect our body from the environment around us. So if you don't have a yoga mat, you're welcome to just do this on the floor or on a blanket. Blanket is not super recommended for this one because in a lot of our postures today, our feet are going to be planted on the earth and spreading apart. So I wouldn't want you to stretch out your blanket. However, if you are just going to practice on the floor, or even if you're practicing on a mat today, I do suggest that you have a blanket nearby so that you can add a little cushion underneath the knees. Or the wrists. If these are sensitive areas for you, you'll definitely want a little extra cushion in there. And another prop that I'm going to suggest for you today is the blocks, the yoga blocks. My little purple blocks back here. If you do not have yoga blocks, that's okay. You can stack some books. Or you can use an instrument, you can use a bowl, a pot, whatever works for you, as long as it's something that's sturdy and can bring up maybe about 4 to 6 inches, can help elevate the floor, bringing the floor to you. Okay, so you can pause here if you need to go grab a couple things, and if not, we shall get started. So let's actually begin in Lotus Pose or in Easy Pose. So we'll find a nice comfortable position on the floor. And if your legs are able to come and sit cross-legged, then that's wonderful. If you have a lot of tightness in your thighs right now, you can take your blocks or your cushions or whatever and just place them gently underneath the knees. This will help to support the knees and allow the hips to soften into this space. If you don't need those, that's okay. Just put those over here. So let us close the eyes gently, relax the muscles of the face. Relax the neck and the shoulders. Relax the chest and the belly. Relax the pelvis and the hips. Relax the legs and the knees, the ankles, and the feet. You can imagine that above you is a giant candle and it's melting some warm and comforting wax, and the wax starts at the crown of the head, and as it slowly melts down the body, it softens each area, from the crown of the head, down the forehead, the jaw, and the shoulders. That warm, comforting wax continues down the back, down the rib cage, down the belly, cooling here around the hips, creating an extra layer of warmth and soothing comfort here. And then it continues to drip down into the floor, helping us to recognize the force of gravity on the body, softening, becoming heavy, releasing tension. Now, I'd like to offer you a few different intentions or affirmations that you might like to keep in mind throughout your practice. At the beginning of our class here, we will set our intentions together. And these intentions are related to our second chakra. So perhaps go with the flow works for you. You might like to access your creativity, get in touch with your emotional self, listen to the fluid, the water element of the body. Perhaps you'd like to let go of fear, or to accept and invite change into your life. Moving with ease and grace. Or being at peace with yourself. Pick one of these affirmations and intentions and repeat it to yourself 3 times, mindfully, feeling in the body as you speak verbally or just mentally this mantra, this affirmation. As we sit here with our seat bones connected to the earth, we sense and feel the body touching the ground. And we honor our root chakra, the first chakra. It reminds us that we belong to this earth, that we are safe and secure in this space. We bring our awareness to the breath and we watch the belly expand in all directions as the breath flows in. And we soften the belly and let all the air leave. Finally, just drawing that navel in towards the spine. One more deep breath in through the nose. And this time we'll sigh it out the mouth. Our hands are here on the knees, and we'll just drop them to the outside edge of the knees and just gently assist the knees to come together. We'll unravel the feet, let the legs float down to the side, and we'll come on to the hands and the knees. From here, we'll let the tops of the feet rest on the mat, round the back, and push the hips down towards the ankles. From here, we'll walk the hands further out in front of us and lower the forehead to the floor to rest in child's pose. If the forehead does not meet the floor, you can stack hands on top of each other, or you can stack one fist on top of the other to bring the floor closer to the forehead so we can rest the back of the neck. In this posture, we begin to tap into that root energy, that chakra from the seat bones, from the tailbone, and we start to allow that energy to draw upwards through the spine. And the first chakra that energy meets after our root is the sacral chakra, Svadhisthana. This beautiful orange light, this energy that glows, a warming glow, allows us to deepen into introspection, into self-awareness and acceptance. So we just breathe and we draw energy upwards through the spine, and we exhale, we relax this intention. With each breath in, take the energy from the base to the second chakra, and exhale, relax your intention. We'll do this one more time. And on your next inhale, peel the forehead away from the floor. Reach the arms forward and begin to curl the body forward, the heart rolling across the floor as the hips rise up. And then we press into the hands, coming all the way onto hands and knees. Exhale, round the spine and lower the hips towards the heels again, coming back to child's pose. As we inhale, we reach the heart forward along the floor and then push up into our table pose. Exhaling, round the spine and drop the hips back down. This really gentle, flowing, undulating motion allows us to begin our exploration of the water element through movement and mindful awareness. Tapping into a stronger breath here, we might start to hear that wave sounding breath. As we close our eyes, we can visualize the tide coming and going, ebbing and flowing. We'll do one more undulating motion. And this time, as we exhale, we'll keep the back rounded and we'll stay up on our hands and knees. From here, you might want to scooch those wrists back towards the knees so that they land right underneath the shoulders. Now, as we inhale, we'll release this rounded back, drop the belly down, lift the hips, lift the chin. The heart draws forward. Exhaling, tuck the tailbone under, round the back, drop the chin to the chest. Inhaling again, we drop the belly, lift the heart, lift the hips. And exhaling again, pressing into the mat. Continue with your own pace and your own breath. And again, you can begin to get a little bit more creative with the flow of this motion. Perhaps making the motion begin at the base of the spine, perhaps making the cow posture begin at the crown of the head. Maybe you can move the shoulders and bend the elbows as you really exaggerate the motions. Allowing and trusting your intuitive ability to direct your motion. And then we'll enjoy some nice round circles here, really activating our rib cage, getting a nice full range of motion, 360 degrees as the spine remains parallel to the earth. Feeling a beautiful oblique stretch as you really round the rib cage out through the sides. And we'll change the direction, going in both motions. And let's come back to our center in our tabletop pose. We'll take the left leg out to the side, extend the leg, and lower the foot down to the floor. So you may not be able to see it there, but my whole foot is in contact with the earth like this. So the outer edge of the foot is meeting the ground, and we're pressing into that outer edge. Now from here, just gently move the body forward, move it backwards, just a couple of inches in both directions. Feeling the feet, the earth, the hands grounding down, drawing some of that earth energy up and inspiring a little upwards motion of our energy. Now inhale, lift the foot back up, reach the leg out behind you. Stretch your right arm forward, reaching nice and long, lengthening the tailbone away from the crown of the head. And as the exhale comes, bring the knee and the elbow in towards the center of the body, rounding the back. Inhaling, stretching it out nice and long. Exhaling, pulling the knee and the elbow in. Inhaling one more time, stretching it out, and exhaling, drawing it in. One final time, we lengthen through the arm, through the leg, and exhale, lower the knee and the hand back down. Switch sides here. Now we'll activate that right leg, keeping the spine nice and long. The lower abdomen just gently engaged. And we'll bring the right leg out towards the right side, extend the leg, and lower the foot down to the earth. Now you can have a gentle bend in the knee here. And again, we'll just slowly, very gracefully explore as we move the body forward and backwards. Just gently stretching those inner groin muscles. And we'll come back to neutral. Inhale, lift that right leg up. Draw it back behind you. Lift the right arm straight out in front of you, nice and long through the spine. As the exhale comes, draw the knee and the elbow in towards the center of the body, rounding the back. Inhaling, lengthen. Exhaling, round. Inhaling, lengthen. Exhaling, round. One more time. Inhaling to reach. Exhaling to round. Inhaling, we'll reach one more time and then lower the hand and the knee down to the earth. Now you can do a couple of rounds of cat and cow here. You can circle the hips a little bit, just gently loosening up and working that out. And from here, we'll tuck our toes under. Go ahead and round the spine, begin to lift the legs up, pressing back. We find ourselves in our downward dog. And from here, you might need to lengthen the space between the hands and the feet a little bit, and that's okay. A nice way to do it is to sort of just squish the feet on the mat and just gently press them back. Or you can pick them up and place them where they need to be. So let the head hang heavy, spread the fingertips wide, really grip your mat here. You can bend one knee at a time if you like. And then we'll lift the right leg up, point the toes, bend the knee. Start to do some really small little circles with that knee. Dropping it down, reaching to the outer edge, up behind you, towards the center, and down again. Just some really loose, gentle circles in here. Then inhale, extend the leg up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bend the knee, draw it in towards the chest. Inhale, lengthen up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bend the knee, draw it in. One more time, inhaling up. Exhaling, draw the knee in, but this time bring the foot forward and plant it on the earth. So we're starting here in our nice high lunge. Now, this might be a little bit tight on the hips right now. I'm just gonna grab my blocks. So this is where our blocks come in really nice and handy. If we feel like this is a little bit premature for this stretch with our hips, a beautiful tool that we have is the blocks. We can bring them to either side of the foot, and that can help to support us and bring us a little bit higher up without putting so much tension here in the hips. So let's just play with loosening up this area for a bit. As we inhale, let's lift the hips back up towards the sky. Exhaling, sinking them down, really opening the heart and lengthening the spine. Inhaling to lift, exhaling to soften into that stretch. One more time, inhaling, lift, exhaling, deepen. And this time, we'll let our left knee come to the mat. You can relax the top of the left foot down on the mat, and here we find ourselves in our nice low lunge. So keep the blocks here at your side if you want to use them. If not, you can bring your hands to frame either side of the foot. And as we inhale, let's stretch the arms up. We'll come straight up. The arms will even come slightly behind the shoulders as we lift the heart space. Roll the shoulders back and down on the back. Keep breathing, a couple nice deep rounds of breath here. And on your next exhale, go ahead and lower the arms back down to the mat. We'll keep the left hand pressing into the ground or on top of your block. And as we inhale, let's reach the right arm out to the side and up overhead, coming into a nice little twist here. We'll rotate the pinky edge of the hand forward. That'll help to soften the shoulder back and away from the ears. One more deep breath in here. And exhaling, go ahead and lower the right arm down towards the mat again. Now, if this is feeling really good for you, you're welcome to stay here in this lunge. If you want to take it a little bit further, let's bring the right arm on the inside of the right leg, and you can walk the foot out a little bit more, maybe even off of the mat a little bit. lowering ourselves onto the hands here, perhaps bringing our forearms down onto a block or onto the mat, wherever you're at. And we'll just have a nice gentle sort of playful motion here. Again, thinking about the fluidity of water. It might be nice to sway from left to right. Might be nice to open up your right knee a little bit in this lizard lunge. We think about really lengthening our spine, keeping the chin tucked slightly so we can keep the neck straight and long. And then we'll inhale, let's come up onto fingertips. We'll heel toe that right foot back in, draw the right arm to the outside of the right leg. Go ahead and tuck your left toes under now. Inhale, lengthen the left leg, lifting the knee off the mat. From here, we'll press that right foot back, coming into our nice, strong, flat plank pose. On your next exhale, keep the elbows in as you slowly lower down. Inhaling, lifting the heart, lifting the rib cage, either coming up into just a little baby cobra here, or if your back feels really good, you can rise all the way up into our upward dog. And then from here, tuck your toes under, go ahead and lift your hips, press the hips back. We find our way into downward dog. We'll connect with our breath here for a few rounds. Just let your head be heavy. Relax the hips. You can paddle out one leg at a time if you like. On your next inhale, go ahead and kick that left leg all the way back. Point the toe, reach it up as high as you can. Bend the knee, and now go ahead and do some gentle circles with that leg. Dropping the knee down through the center, out to the side, up above you, back to the center and down. Couple nice loose motions here. And then inhale, lengthen, pressing the toes up. Exhale, round the back, draw the knee in. Inhale, reach long again, lengthening the leg up. Exhaling, bending the knee, drawing it towards the center. Inhaling one more time, stretching up. This time as we exhale, we'll draw the knee to the chest and keep going, bringing the foot onto the floor. Here we are again in our nice high lunge. So it might be nice in this posture, again, to have your blocks handy. We'll place them on either side of the foot. And this really allows you, whether you're very experienced with yoga or not, it allows you to focus more on lengthening than deepening into muscles that need to be stretched. So think about creating a nice long line from the heel to the crown of the head. And again, we'll play with this a little bit. Inhale, lift the hips slightly, maybe rolling them a little bit. Exhaling, deepen into that dip, dropping the hips down. Inhaling them up. Exhaling to deepen. One more time, inhaling them up. Exhaling to deepen. And then we'll go ahead and lower that right knee down onto the mat, resting the top of the right foot down. You can keep your blocks handy if you like, or you can press your hands onto the ground. And as we inhale, we'll reach the arms up overhead, lifting the heart, keeping the chin parallel to the earth. Really bending into that left knee to lower our hips down. Draw the shoulder blades back, draw the hands back, lifting the heart. Breathing. Steady, long, deep breaths. And on your next exhale, lower your hands back down to the mat. Keeping your right hand planted down on the mat here. Inhaling, we'll stretch the left arm out to the side. Exhaling, we'll reach it up towards the sky, coming into a nice twist here. Lengthening, keeping those shoulders away from the ears. One more deep inhale, lengthen, grow tall. And exhaling, lower that left hand to the mat. This time it'll come towards the inside of the left foot. And we'll walk that left foot over to the side of the mat or right off the mat. As again, we enter into our lizard lunge. So it might feel good to stay right here on your hands. It might feel good to bring a block underneath you, coming onto forearms. And again, we'll bring to mind that flowing, fluid motion, the softness and looseness of water. Maybe as we rock side to side. Inhale, let's come back up onto our fingertips. We'll make our fingers really nice and strong as we grow tall here. We'll walk the foot back onto the mat. Draw the left arm to the outside of the left foot. Inhale, tuck the right toes under and lift the knee, lengthening that leg. Exhale, press the left foot back to meet the right, and we land together in our plank. Now here you can go directly to downward dog if you like. You can rest your knees on the mat, or you can enjoy Chaturanga. Exhale, we lower ourselves down. Inhaling, peeling the heart away. Lifting up into upward dog. And then exhaling, tucking the toes, lifting the hips, pressing back. Reconnecting with our breath here. You can sway the hips side to side if it feels good. You can bend one knee at a time. On your next inhale, look forward towards the hands and either walk the feet forward, take a big step, or jump the feet forward. If you have your blocks handy, press them underneath the face. Put your hands on them and press into them as we inhale. We'll rise up halfway. If you don't have blocks, just press the hands onto the shins. As we exhale, we'll allow ourselves to forward fold, lowering the head towards the knees, letting the upper body hang. And then as we inhale, let's slowly rise all the way back up. Arms stretch out through the sides and come up overhead. Now from here, as we exhale, we'll reach over towards the right side, really pressing the hands away from the body as if you're pushing into a wall. Inhaling, we'll come back up through center. Exhaling, we'll reach over towards that left side, again pressing the hands away. Inhaling, we'll do it one more time. Exhaling, softening to that right side, reaching the arms. Inhaling, stretching tall through center. Exhaling, rounding over to the left. This time we'll inhale back through center and the hands come to meet overhead. Exhaling, we lower the hands down our center line to the heart. Now let's drop the hands down to our sides, flip the palms to face forward. And from here, we'll take a nice wide stance. We want our feet to be on the out, like here's my shoulders, here's my hips. My feet are definitely a good foot beyond that. That's where I feel comfortable in my wide-legged stance. You can take this to whatever level feels good for you. A little bit hot, so I'm going to take a moment here. Really building up some heat here as we dive into these hips and start to really concentrate on all the power and energy in this area. So in this posture, we're harnessing all of that power, all that charge that we've been developing, and we're softening forward, allowing that energy just to gently and naturally flow upwards, which will be really nice and healing on our sacral chakra, and it'll help to open up the other chakras as well. So we'll take a moment to lengthen the spine, press the feet into the earth. Really notice how when we spread the mat, we grow taller. Inhaling, let's rise up. Lift the arms and exhale, reach forward and lower yourself down. The arms can keep swaying behind you, rising up, and we'll bring the hands to meet. Interlacing the fingers here, we'll let the arms rise up and let the head be heavy. It might be nice in this posture to nod the head yes. Helping to soften up those neck muscles. You can shake the head no. One more deep breath in here. This time we'll sigh it out. As we release the hands, we'll let the hands come down and press into the earth. As we inhale, we'll rise up halfway, flattening our back. And then from here, let's draw the heels in so that our toes are on an outward, maybe 45-degree angle. Bring the palms to touch and bend the elbows. The elbows will come towards the inside of the knees as we lower the buttocks down. Coming into a nice wide squat here. We'll just be really gentle, moving the hips from one side to the other, lengthening and extending one leg and deepening into the bend on the other. Inhaling, lengthen the spine, drop the hands back down to the mat. We'll walk the feet in a little bit closer. And if it's in your practice, we'll lower ourselves into a nice crow pose, a little yogi squat here. And if this is a little too intense for your knees, then allow yourself to just come seated straight on the buttocks. We'll bend the knees and support them here. We'll all be meeting in our Lotus Pose next. So as you're ready, go ahead and lower the buttocks down onto the earth. And then we'll draw the feet together and relax the legs out to the sides. Coming into our bound angle pose. We'll grab a hold of our feet or our shins or our ankles. And again, close the eyes and bring to mind the water element, the fluidity, and allow your upper body to start swaying gently. And that gentle swaying motion might become more circular in nature. Holding on to the feet, you might start to Round the heart forward and then draw the back away from the feet. Coming in nice, round, gentle circles, really not pushing ourselves at all. Just allowing ourselves to experience the range of motion that feels comfortable and easy. And if we have started circling, we'll make sure we circle in the other direction as well. Connecting with breath. And we'll bring ourselves back up through our center. Let's bring the hands to the outsides of the knees and we'll gently press the legs together. Here we'll lengthen the right leg and lower it down. The left leg can cross over the right leg so that the left foot is at the same location or relative area as the right knee. Let's go ahead and tuck that left knee into the elbow crease on the right side. Inhaling, we'll open the left arm out towards the left side, and as we exhale, we'll start to twist around, lowering the left hand behind us onto the mat. So we inhale, we really sweep across the left side. And as we exhale, we look behind us and lower that left hand onto the mat, drawing it nice and close into the buttocks to help us draw length upwards through the spine. Continuing with this ebbing and flowing mindfulness as we inhale, ease out of the posture, grow tall. Exhale, soften into the twist. Inhaling, coming back out with the tide. Exhale, deepening into the twist. And once more. The next inhale, lift the left arm back up to parallel to the floor and begin to sweep it across the left side until we unravel, meeting the front edge of our mat again. We'll go ahead and release the left leg, extend it and lower it down. Bending the right knee now, drawing the foot across the left side of the body. This time we'll tuck the knee into the left elbow. Inhale, grow tall, sweeping as we exhale that right arm across the right side and back behind us until we lower it down, nice and close to the buttocks. Inhaling, we lengthen. Exhale, we soften into our twist. Continue gently moving in and out of our twist. One more time. Next inhale, we'll lift the right arm up. Exhale, sweeping it across the right side until we unravel, coming back to our center. We'll release that right leg and we'll actually draw the left leg up so both knees are pointing up towards the sky. Let's draw the arms out in front of us, palms facing each other. Inhale to lengthen. And as we exhale, round the back, really pulling the belly in, flexing those abdominals as we lower ourselves very slowly onto the mat. Once we're here, press the palms of the hands into the floor. Draw the feet in nice and close to the seat bones, as close as they want to be. Inhaling, press into the floor with the heels and lift the hips up. And as we exhale, we'll start to roll down from the top of the spine, middle of the back, lower back, and finally hips land back on the floor. So again, beautiful, gentle, undulating motion through the spine. Inhaling, lift the hips up. Exhaling, round the back down to the earth. We'll do it 2 more times. Inhaling, press up. Exhaling, soften down. 1 more time. Exhaling, soften down. Now from here, inhale and lengthen the right leg all the way up, and then flex the foot, reaching through the heel, bend the knee, open the knee to the outside, and cross the right ankle over the left thigh, coming into a bit of a figure 4 here. Now we'll take our arms and we'll reach them behind the left thigh if that's available. And from here, we'll begin to slowly and gently draw the legs in nice and close towards the chest. Now, if this is a good spot for you, you're feeling a nice gentle stretch in those glutes and the piriformis muscle, then you can go ahead and stay here. If you're looking for a little bit of a deeper stretch, try taking your arms to the outsides of the left shin. That'll draw the knee in a little closer to the body, really opening up that right side of the hip. And if this just still isn't doing it for you, you can go ahead and lengthen your left leg, reaching up through the heel. Draw the arms up to grab a hold of that calf, and then draw the legs in. So finding what place really works well for you. We'll close our eyes and soften the belly, breathing steadily and slowly. One more breath in, sighing it out. We'll release our bind, allowing the left foot to find the floor again. Gently unravel that right leg, placing the right foot on the floor. Inhaling, lengthen the left leg, reach it up towards the sky. Exhaling, flex the foot, bend the knee, open the knee to the outside, and cross it over the right thigh. We'll reach the arms behind that right leg, grabbing a hold of the hamstrings. Perhaps grabbing a hold of the shin. Or if you prefer, lengthening the leg and reaching up for the calf. So going into whatever position feels really nice and juicy for you. Steadying the breath and softening the face. One more breath in here. Sighing it out as we release the hands and let the right foot come back to the earth. Gently unravel that left leg. Taking the arms to the outsides of the legs, just get ready to grab a hold of the feet. We'll start to draw one knee in towards the chest, grabbing a hold of the foot if we can, and then the other one coming into our nice happy baby pose. We allow the knees to drop in towards the armpits as we hold on to the outer edge of our foot with our hands. And from here, it might be nice to just gently rock side to side. And if you can't reach your foot for this pose, go ahead and grab a hold of your pants or the outside edge of your calves, perhaps even your knees, just gently supporting your knees. And we'll prepare to release out of this posture, bringing our arms to the outsides of the legs as we let go of the feet. And let's just grab a hold of the knees, pressing the knees together, using the arms, and then we'll hug the knees in towards the body, and perhaps we can rock towards the left and towards the right, just gently massaging the back into the mat. And from here, it might be nice to circle the knees around a couple of times in both directions. And then go ahead and draw the knees in towards the chest. As we exhale, we'll draw the chin to the chest and squeeze the whole body nice and tight. And as the inhale comes, we open the body up, letting the arms float out to the sides, the legs float out to the sides. And we'll prepare ourselves for deep rest in Shavasana. So if you have a blanket nearby, go ahead and cover yourself up, make yourself nice and cozy. We'll close the eyes, allow the body to become heavy. Allow the breath to come back to its natural rhythm. Continue to soften, allowing the force of gravity to take hold and draw you into the earth. Settling into a deep state of rest. Keep a gentle awareness. Sensing and feeling in the body. Noticing each time that any tension begins to develop. And sending your water element a wave of relaxation into that area. Moving the body in fluid ways prepares us to deepen into ourselves. Allowing the expression of different emotions, creative aspirations arise. We connect more deeply with the rhythm of our life, with the flow of our consciousness. You may begin to deepen your breath. Sensing and feeling within the body. Noticing how you feel emotionally and what sensations you have right now. Passing no judgment, simple acceptance and observation. And inhale and reach your arms overhead, giving yourself a full body stretch. And as you exhale, bend the knees, gently allowing them to float to one side and the other. Now rolling over onto one side of the body, close the eyes and cradle your face in your arm. Take a moment now to reconnect with the intention that you created at the beginning of today's practice. Taking a deep breath in through the nose and release it through the mouth. Gently press into the floor and slowly rise up. And from here, let's find each other back in easy pose, seated anyway with a nice straight spine. Again, we just notice how we feel in the body, what emotions we're experiencing, and perhaps we sense and feel energetically what's circulating or moving within us when around us. We'll inhale and stretch the arms out through the sides and up overhead, bringing the palms to touch. We'll exhale and lower the hands down towards the heart center. Closing the eyes here, we'll take a deep breath in, suspending our breath, and exhaling out the mouth. Now from the most sacred place within myself, within my heart, I see and love that space within you. Thank you for practicing today. Namaste.